So we're good. Check. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Scoop. I am back in Nashville, Tennessee from my trip to New York, and I made it. I survived. We survived the New York traffic. Last week's Scoop episode was by far the best performing, so thanks for watching. Thanks for submitting your questions. Chase, what do we got this week?
Last week we uploaded Munching on Buildings Europe Log 5. And someone asked, do you see the quick coupler system becoming more commonplace in the U.S.?
Do I see the quick coupler system becoming more commonplace in the United States? Absolutely, yes. I already see contractors adopting oil quick or similar setups where you have the integrated hydraulic lines and sometimes other integrated things within the coupling system. I think it's a no-brainer, and I think U.S. contractors are going to be adopting that pretty quickly here. It'll always be driven by a select group of early adopters, but I think it'll be commonplace. It's going to take a while because it's a huge investment, but I don't see why the U.S. is going to avoid switching over.
Nice. Do you have any more international trips coming up this year?
Do we have any more international trips coming up? Yes, we do. August, I'm going to Canada. I'm going to Alberta and Calgary. So I'm going to Alberta, which is Fort McMurray, and then I'm going down to Calgary, and then I'm going over to British Columbia. No. Is it British Columbia?
Yes.
British Columbia. Yeah. I still need to brush up on my Canadian geography. I thought before this trip, when I was researching it, I thought Toronto was close to Calgary, but it's not. Canada, turns out, is a very large place. And then in October, we are going back to Europe to go to Bauma, the big equipment show in Munich, Germany. And then it looks like we're going to be touring some other job sites in Germany, Austria, and maybe some other countries. So stay tuned for that. It's still very much in the works, but that'll be coming together pretty soon.
Nice. The next was from the Scoop episode last week titled The Bear vs. Cat. Do you think social media will inevitably push job posting sites like Indeed to the wayside as a way of recruitment?
Do I think social media will push recruiting sites to the wayside? So, interestingly enough, I don't think recruiting sites are very effective in the construction industry. They're kind of effective from an office personnel standpoint, from a field personnel standpoint. They're not at all effective. I've talked to a lot of contractors, and while they still spend on the sites, they've openly admitted they're not very effective. I think one of the single best tools, other than word of mouth and other than taking care of their people so they talk about the company they work for and recruit their friends, step one. Other than that, I think the most effective tool from a hiring standpoint is without a doubt social media if you're a contractor. That could be LinkedIn for office and higher up level individuals. That could be Instagram or TikTok for field individuals. So if you're not using social media as a contractor, you're missing out, man.
What do you see for the future of electric machines in construction?
The future for electric machines in construction, it's kind of coming, but it's a really limited market. The problem with machines is they need so much power, and they need to be running oftentimes for a full shift, which is 12 hours. So to have that much energy stored in the machine to work for 12 hours, we just don't have the technology for that right now. However, the most practical applications I've seen for electric machines so far are something like, demolition, for example, where you're working indoors and you don't want the diesel fumes for the people working in there as well to breathe in. And then underground mining. So underground mining equipment is going electric because, again, you have the diesel fumes that you can eliminate with electric. So I think specific applications, electric's fantastic across the board. I just don't see it happening anytime soon.
We know the earth mover is your favorite piece of equipment. What do you see your next equipment purchase being?
Next equipment purchase, 304 Cat mini excavator. So it'll pair nicely with my 259D3 skid steer. Thompson Machinery, local dealer, fantastic. And honestly, the excavator is probably my favorite kind of equipment, so I'm pretty excited to have one. I don't know when I'm going to order one, and then if I order one, they're probably like 18 months out, so even if I order one today, I won't see it for a while. But for sure, the 304 Cat excavator.
Nice. from the Saudi Arabia episode last week, which did 10,000 views in 2 days.
We're killing it.
We are crushing it. What were the maintenance crews like in the middle of the desert?
Maintenance crews in the middle of the desert for Saudi Arabia, it was pretty interesting. They had makeshift equipment yards out on these projects because the projects were so remote, and there were not very many service techs. The maintenance was really, it's kind of like a team effort. I feel like everybody was pitching in, and the nice thing is all the equipment they have over there, nothing has emissions on it. So the computers and the complications of the equipment, it's pretty limited. So if the machines break, they get out some wrenches and they just fix it. Each project had like a makeshift equipment yard, and they had tons of people working out there on all kinds of equipment, but they have a huge advantage over a country like the United States or a place like Europe in that they don't have emissions regulations, so that the machines are a lot simpler. And amazingly enough, machines don't break as much when they don't have emissions. So it was not as refined out in the field. That said, the Zahid dealer branches, their shops are some of the cleanest cat shops I've ever been in, period. So the actual cat dealer was unbelievable out in the field, pretty rudimentary. So that concludes this episode of The Scoop. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for submitting your questions. If you have questions, be sure to comment them. Comment them on this video. Comment them on any video we're posting from here on. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. Stay dirty, everybody.